Hey guys, how you guys doing? I'm going to do something different today, something I've never done on this channel before, and we're going to do some level requests. I did get this idea from Spark, from what Spark uploads, so first of all, go subscribe to Spark. Obviously, it's not an original thing, but why not do it? Because I low-key want something else to upload on this channel. You know, I've been doing my own creations, and I've been doing just level showcases for the longest time, and I've wanted to upload something different on this channel for a little bit, so maybe this will be that. I'll be taking the level requests from my Discord server, link down in the description to join that, and yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so the first level is Red Soul Reaper, and I know this creator, so this will be cool. You know, this artist, the song artist, has always had the most interesting songs. So far, this is a pretty cool atmosphere. I wouldn't say standard red, like horror-esque look to it, but I really like what this creator's done with some of the block design so far. Here, having these little stars here and everything, a little bit of glow, some animated objects by the look of it, pretty nice so far. Gameplay so far is pretty good. There are some jumps that kind of just come real quick, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. We got a swing part with indicators. Shameful. No. I'm always just been a guy to be like, UFO parts and swing parts, they don't need indicators, you know? I don't know why it's become a thing that a swing part or a UFO part is automatically deemed bad if it does not have indicators, but it's just me talking because I've been playing this game for a long time. I like the effects that this level has. You know, we got some like very upscaled animated objects. That's something I do a lot of times in my levels, which is always nice to see other creators do as well. I do like the little hue, the little pulses on the other, you know, other colors and everything. Always a nice thing to have. Like the standard like hell quote unquote level is just like red with like black and a little bit of gray in there. So having these purple pulses and everything really does like switch it up a bit. That's also a reason why I like Eternus by by Riot. You know, the purple there does it pretty good. Pretty decent level. Does feel a little bit short though. Like it's a little bit over a minute, or I guess 59 seconds. I don't really want to say that like I wanted more out of it. It just felt a little short, and I guess that's kind of like not the creator's fault because that's where the song kind of ends. But a type of level with this decoration feels like it's something that's like very like there's like a build up to something. Like a lot of these levels, they have like a large build up and like really know how to represent the song that they're using, which I always like to see. Like the long progression levels, you know, like Comatose, Before Machinery, all those levels. I love those levels. I feel like some of the levels, like especially with this decoration style, it definitely fits in that era of like good song representation for an extended period of time. Yeah, this gameplay is actually pretty enjoyable. The drop, like I said earlier, I think the pre-drop has like some of the I don't want to say rough gameplay, but most of my attempts were definitely spent during the pre-drop. Probably just me being bad. I don't know. Pretty solid level. Don't really have too many complaints about the deco or anything. Obviously a demon, and I'll probably send that for a feature. Pretty good stuff overall. Alright, next up we have Destination Rave with a DJVI song. Oh god, copyright alert. Looks like first glance 1.0 level? Yeah, alright. I'm not the biggest fan of 1.0 levels for the most part, but I'm always open to them being done. To me, a good 1.0 level has like really good structuring, and it's not just like how many objects can we layer on top of each other to create some unique design. Because a lot of levels in this style, this 1.0 style, unfortunately do fall under that latter half, where it's just like, alright, let's just have a million of these spike objects layered on top of each other to create this like this wall or something, right? I've just never really been the biggest fan of that. I feel like judging 1.0 levels as well is kind of like a little bit difficult because you're like, oh, the deco. I'm like, what deco? There's not really much deco in a 1.0 level. At this point, whenever I do get a 1.0 level requested to me, I definitely focus on the gameplay. And so far, this gameplay is pretty good. Ooh, I really like these circles right here. I actually don't know what object that is. I have no clue what object that is. I think it might be actually these objects right here. This does go to say that like 1.0 levels have a certain style of gameplay that not a lot of people unfortunately like. There's definitely like a good amount of the community that does not like the map packs. I for one am someone who does enjoy the map packs because like back when I reset my stats, obviously had to do the map packs again, and I actually enjoyed them for the most part. Some of these timings are a little difficult, or like not really difficult but like unexpected. Not something that I would expect, especially like with some of the surrounding jumps being so easy, but it's nothing bad by any means. I do feel like there could have been a little bit more in this part, like throughout the entire rest of the level, there have been the 1.0 circle stick things. I don't know what you call them, but it's the thing that like pulses to the music. Those right there. I do feel like during that previous section, like it's pretty empty. You get a couple particles from the portals and everything. It's a nice way to like have a little bit of deco. I feel like putting a couple of those sticks around would make it look a little bit less empty. I do like, there have been a couple levels in this. I'm assuming this is for the 1.0 creator contest. Like this is me going against what I said earlier about like layering a bunch of objects on top of each other. But when it's something simple like this, like a laser beam, I don't mind it like at all. It's actually really good. That timing, it's so unassuming. Otherwise, a pretty good level. I feel like it could have had a little bit more going on, so I will send it for a star rate. But yeah. I'm still sending it, so I still like it enough to send it. Alright, up next we have Funky using Clutterfunk. Alright, well first of all we got a lot of shaders going on. I'm guessing they're just player layer shaders. That transition was a little rough, especially with the camera doing this. I feel like if you were to have that static camera, at least like let it go back to being a normal camera a little bit earlier, because as you can see with this camera transition, the camera just flings to the right, and that's a little bit quick, especially with you have this yellow orb quite soon after. It might be auto. Okay, it is auto. Making that auto still does not hide the fact that it's a very sudden transition, and I mean we have the green orb shortly thereafter as well. I'm not the biggest fan of this hue shift, I'll admit. Like hue shifting, I'm sure we've all seen that video that one star grinder made. He's like, alright, I'm a star grinder, and this is what I've seen in levels, so don't do this. I'm sure we've all seen that video, and I 100% agree with a lot of the things they said in that video. A little bit of a style change, which I don't mind. Ooh, that was a little bit sudden. I feel like if you were to have a transition like that, for sure have some sort of indication. It's really difficult to see, like especially if it's an orb or a pad where you have the reverse option turned on and the extras menu. Like it's kind of impossible to tell until you hit it. So just make like a little bit of an arrow, like choose a particle trigger, have an arrow. You're like, all right, you're gonna be going back on yourself right here once you hit this orb or a pad. Whoa. I feel like these transitions, I've seen them a lot when I'm just playing through the feature tab and the recently rated levels. A lot of levels like to do this where it's like, alright, I have an outline of the upcoming gameplay. The issue with this, though, is you don't have an outline or any indication as to what game mode you are. Like, first thing when I see this, I'm a spider or I'm a ball. I don't know that I'm a ship. Like the first thing I would want to do is just click once in this little gap right here. So that's just something that I would improve there. I do like the parallax here. It's a nice little touch to have. I feel like this level does have a lot of faults in the quality consistency. Well, not really quality consistency, but just the overall deco style consistency. This part's initial reactions, I think the glow on the right and left of the screen, this could just be a lens circle shader. I think it's a little bit too dark. Maybe I would tone that back a little bit. This transition right here, it's kind of hard to tell that these 2.0 blocks right here are actually solid. Like they kind of blend in with the background just a little bit. So I would probably make them stand out a little bit, add a object outline or something similar to that. Decent amount of fakes at the end. I don't mind it. And a final orb. Cool. Yeah, this level's pretty solid. There's just a decent amount of things that I would change, unfortunately. Hue shifting on an entire parts with portals and orbs especially, it kind of goes against like what we as a Jump Judge player know as like, alright, the ship portal is pink, you know, stuff like that. So introducing a new portal color, it's just kind of hard to see what color the gameplay that we're about to go into is. I feel like this is one of the stronger deco choices in this level. Like this style, I don't mind it. It just kind of doesn't go with the rest of the level, unfortunately. But yeah, this part, I feel like it had the opportunity to be a little bit better than it is. Mainly just because of the color of the lens circle. It's not a bad level. I do feel like there could have been a lot more going on. But unfortunately, as it currently stands, I will not be sending it. Alright, up next we have Me When. Looks like we got a bit of modern level here. I like the block designs a decent amount, actually. There's a little bit of copy paste going on, which is not the worst thing in the world. I just feel like in that part, there could have been a little bit more going on in the other aspects of that part. Like the air deco, the backgrounds, and the same thing for this. Colors could use a little bit more work. I'm not really the biggest fan of this purple if it's not a contrasting color, which might be a weird thing to say. I feel like if you were to have an entire part be that color, I would switch it up and make some of it that color. I feel like that shade of purple really goes well in contrasting color situations. That's a bit of an easy point. And having that color be your main color, it's just, I don't want to typecast things, but that's just kind of like star rate material. I've seen a lot of levels that have those colors, like solid colors like those shades of purple that are star rate worthy. For this part, a little bit more air deco would be nice. Like you have the arrows and the pulsing squares in the background. Maybe some smaller arrows could be beneficial. The purple parts. All right. Yeah, I think like if you were to hue shift the background a little bit to be like hue shifted towards blue a little bit, that would be a lot better. Or make the foreground color, I'd honestly say like a cyan towards like a turquoise teal, somewhere in that blue green range. Like those are contrasting colors for the most part. I do appreciate the background here. I feel like a little bit more variation would go a long way, because you do have a fairly ordered grid of the diamonds that do rotate, which is nice. I feel like if you were to change up the size a little bit, maybe have some, like every once in a while have some very large ones, that would be pretty nice. It would vary it up a little bit. One thing I will say about these transitions, the transition into the drop portion, and then this transition right here, maybe add a little bit more, kind of like the 1.0 level we had earlier. These black transitions, that's just a black screen and then like a couple of objects, you know, with like a white object color or whatever. I don't want to say it's like past its prime, because it never really had a prime, but it's definitely long overdone. We got rid of that in like 2020. For a lot of the transitions nowadays, add a little bit more. For this level though, I like it. It's a little bit flat, unfortunately, and the colors do need a little bit more reworking. This level, I appreciate the background to try to go for. Make it a little bit less uniform, a little less copy-pasty. I mean, I don't want to call it copy-pasty, but it is like the same thing over and over again. So for now, I'll be passing on this level. All right, up next we have Not a Collab, which is a medium level. I like the smiley faces, they're cute. I feel like the color choice though of this pink, a little bit odd. Like I would definitely change up the color scheme a little bit, especially since we're at 30% through the level. Not the biggest fan of this pixelate shader. Maybe either tone it down or remove it. I am glad though that we are unfortunately 58% through the level, but we did get a color change, which I'm assuming is where the collab portion of this level comes into play. I feel like there could have been a little bit more going on there. In that previous part, felt a little bit empty, especially towards the end with the dash orb. Guys, we're ending at the drop. No, unfortunate. It's a known thing that most moderators do not like it whenever levels end at the drop, because it kind of just seems like a cop out, especially with a medium length level, which is what this level is. You know, I've said this in my 100 creator tips video. Go check that out, by the way, if you have not seen it. If a level uses a song that is a little bit longer than 45 seconds, just build the rest of the song length or something like that to get it over a minute. A little bit of movement here would be nice as well. A lot of this level is fairly static, unfortunately. For this part, add some more air deco, like especially up here during these transitions. It's very easy to see that there is no decoration up there. I don't know, it kind of takes me out of it. And then here, where did the background go? This part I don't mind, actually. I kind of like this part. Maybe something in the upper and lower portions here. like just like a pattern. Realistically, that's all you need. But everything else, I like the orange, the contrasting orange. This level does have some good portions in it. Unfortunately, it's like the highlight of it is at the end, because we have that 50% purple section, which kind of looks the same. It's fairly static, unfortunately. Introduce some move triggers in there. The second half, there's just a little bit of emptiness that could be filled up with some more background deco, air deco, but this level ended at the drop, which I hate, and it being a medium length level. But I will not be sending it due to what I rambled on about. Alright, so I think that's about the amount of time I have for this video. Once again, let me know if you guys think that this should become a thing. I just want to test this out because this is kind of something that I've wanted to do for a while. Depending on the reactions to this video, I might make this a weekly thing. So once again, if you're not in my server and you would like a chance to appear in one of these videos in the future, join my Discord. Link in the description.